In this video, we're going to take a few simple ingredients and make some custom gummy candies for a Christmas tree. To make this classic project Christmas themed, I found a Lego Christmas tree for inspiration. Now obviously, this has a lot of small pieces, and that would be a lot of molds to make, so let's simplify this. That's wrong. There we go. Now, because I couldn't find ice trays of this exact tree, I had to make my own molds. Stick around if you want to see how you can make gummies, chocolate, like so many things, to be honest, with a simple 2-part silicone mixture. Now for this mixture, you can use a bowl and a fork to mix everything together. I'm going to use my bar tins because they're just a lot easier to clean. Start with a box of Jell-O, some corn syrup, and some unflavored gelatin. Obviously, we're not gonna need that much. We're gonna make a few batches, but to start out, we're just gonna grab 2 of these. I'm gonna add half a cup of very cold water and a 1/4 cup of corn syrup. Definitely use measuring cups if you're doing this at home. Do as I say, not as I do. We're gonna mix gently until that corn syrup is fully dissolved in the water, and then we're gonna add 1 box of Jell-O and 2 packets of unflavored gelatin. Then we're gonna mix again until everything has fully incorporated, the very best that you can. And I don't wanna add a bunch of bubbles into this mixture, and so I'm gonna use my bar spoon to stir this up. Now, we're adding this mixture into the pot while it's still cold. Since it is all mixed together now, we can turn on the stove and we can start to slowly heat it up while continuing to stir. But let's turn this soup into a delicious candy syrup. We'll do this for about 5 to 10 minutes or until the gelatin has completely liquefied. And while we do that, let's get our molds ready. Once that's done, you should be able to pour directly into the molds, but I will for sure make a mess of that, so I'm gonna skip directly to the condiment bottles for ease of pouring, and in hopes of keeping the kitchen clean so that I don't end up sleeping in the doghouse. Be careful, because not only is this a sticky mess, but it's extremely hot and it will burn you. Now, if you start to see clumps, it's probably because you're heating it up too quickly and the gelatin didn't get a chance to fully incorporate. But don't worry, it's not ruined. You can just set it aside, let it settle, and then cut off the imperfections from the top once it's all separated. You can give it about 10 minutes and then you'll start to see all of the impurities rise to the surface, and you can simply scoop them off the top. Now, while that's doing its thing, let's make some molds to pour this into. Now, we really don't want this to stick to our molds because it'll be impossible to get out. So I'm gonna go ahead and brush these with some oil so that we can get those off a little bit easier. Just like that, you've got a beautiful, easy to pour gummy syrup that's ready for casting. We wanna make sure to overfill the molds just a little bit, not too much to break that surface tension, but they will shrink a little bit when they're cooling. And as you can see, if you overfill them, that can also be a mess. So make sure that you ride that line carefully. In order for these gummies to be sturdy enough to actually take out of the mold, I had to wait a little bit longer than the anticipated 5 hours. It ended up being around 12 hours because it was such a thick gummy, but then they were ready to make our tree. Now, there is an argument to be made here that you could grind up some vitamin C chewables or something, toss that powder in here as well so that you can have those added benefits and that nice tangy flavor. I'm gonna take a different route. I like sour candy, so we're gonna go the opposite direction and add some citric acid and actually make some sour Lego gummies this time. Now, I wanna make sure this tree is gonna stand up on its own, and so I'm gonna try to make a gummy trunk.
There we go. That came out way easier than I thought it would. Check that out. That's perfect.
I also tried a chocolate trunk to see if that worked any better. So I think we're gonna end up with more of a solid trunk inside for the structure and the gummy candies around it for the color and the branches, because gummy candy is just objectively better candy. Okay, fine, not objectively, but objectively. Now that our gummy snack is ready, we can build a delectable gummy Christmas tree. I used a bunch of different flavors of Jell-O to get the different colors and really get this tree into the holiday spirit. I made a bunch of different batches and I let them cool overnight in my bar tins and various containers. We're left with these super huge gummies that are in these containers, and they're definitely too large to eat. But if we trim off the imperfections, we can take that super clear portion and remelt it down on like a medium-low heat until it turns back into a liquid, and then we can cast it into these parts and decorate the tree. Now, off of this 3D print, I designed some regular Lego-sized bricks, and then I placed the Legos on top of the candy once it was in the molds so that I could build with those later. I got a bunch of these Legos here, so I'm gonna build what I can, and we'll see if we can get a big tree, and maybe we can get a whole scene going here. It's a good base. Oh, these branches are breaking off. Dang it. No, it's falling apart. These big gummies just don't want to stay together on those seams. Now, if you put these in a container and you put them in the fridge, they'll last through the end of the year, so you can pull them out whenever you have guests over, if you can keep them away from the kids that long. We're almost there. That's a Lego tree. And then we need to add some presents. Got some presents there. Got the top of my tree. Now, let's get some decorations going. Very good. Now, all I have left to do is put the star on the top. Heck yeah. All right, there's my tree. There's some presents. I'm gonna see what else I can build with the rest of these things. Well, now you know how to make a delicious holiday treat to show off at your next party. Have fun making and building, and happy holidays from all of us here at TKOR. Thanks so much for watching, and if you like this kind of project, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.